Boom, welcome back, everybody. Another Tuesday night chat with the Muskrat. I'm your host, Roger. Most of you already knew that. But hey, welcome back this week. Had some family stuff going on last week. Kids were going back to school, and I decided to take a day off and spend some quality time with the kiddos for first day of kindergarten. So those of you that have been through that knows that's a big deal. And so we took the night off and did some extra stuff and had some fun and all that. But it's good to be back. I have not been doing a lot of fishing in the last week or two. We were set out last weekend to fish a tournament that came up this weekend. The weather looked rough. The wind looked rough. There's an area we don't know, and it was a nighttime tournament. It's kind of what led me into tonight's show, talking about tournament safety and some of the things you could do to protect yourself. And we're also going to talk about the safety of the fish when it comes to fishing in the heat, traveling in live wells, things like that. So we're gonna touch base on a few different subjects tonight, but they're all going to be based around safety for you and safety for the fish, because that's the order it should be in. You got to take care of yourself, but then after that, we need to make sure we're taking care of the fish. Well, there won't be any fish for us to fish for, or our kids or grandkids to go after if they choose so later on in life. So we got to do our part right here, right now. But before we get started, I'll say hello to some folks jumped in already. I see Sampy was first in the house, but Catfishing Dreams Brandon was the first to call first. He's got him on that one. Pontoon Jody's here as well. River Warrior brother Zach Murray, what's in, buddy? Mike Irvin's in the house as well. Uptown Chrissy Brown. Those guys have been out doing a little bit of fishing lately, man. It's good to see them out and catching some quality bait fish and brim and just having a good time from the bank. So I love seeing those guys out. Danny Barry, what's going on? Burrito Catfishing Lady Lisa, what's going on? Thanks for stopping in. John Boy's in the house. What's going on? There's a broadcast brother right there driving while listening home. Driving while listening on the way home. There you go. What's up, Jeremy? Man, I tell you what, I haven't got to catch up with everything because it's been kind of crazy around here. But I did see Jeremy put a couple big fish in the boat, and I see him hooked up with a big shark. So I've got to go back and check out some of that action. That was definitely crazy. Catch Fish with Us says, howdy all, driving and listening. Be careful, eyes on the road, but thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. Also another channel member. Thank you guys so much for your support. Don R., what's going on, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. There's Tommy. Tommy Long, good one in the box with four small frogfish time. There you go. He's out with the kids tonight, most likely on the Bass League tournament. So thanks for stopping in, Tommy, and listening. He's always listening. He don't always get to jump in chat much, but he always seems to tune us in on Tuesday night, even when he's out on the water fishing. Benoit Fishing's in the house. Welcome, ladies. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. Excited to see you guys get that new boat out on the water. Hate that you guys had to let the other one go, but it's good to see that you was able to rebound quickly and get another boat. And the excitement you guys have for getting this thing up and ready to go is awesome. Don Three Nights is in the house. What's up, buddy? Wabash Nate is here. Paul Edmiston, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Let's see. Make sure I've got everybody before we move on. We got Greg Burgess in the house as well. Dale Hayslip, what's up, brother? Dale, I don't know if you've been doing any fishing over at Hoover. I almost went to Hoover today, but I was going to take Jackie's dad out, but turns out he had a appendicitis this morning. He said he wasn't feeling good. He didn't think he was up for the trip this morning, and what's a good thing because he's in the hospital right now. So good vibes, thoughts, prayers, whatever you do, send it his way. He could use all the prayers he can get right now. I believe he's in good shape. We just found out like an hour ago. So hope you're doing all right, buddy. Fat Boy Eric's in the house. What's up, all you butt scratchers? Oh, well, when you got an itch, you got to let her go. Jackie's tuning in. She's in the other room. She's somewhere. She might be in the house or out of the house. It's been a beautiful day, so I don't blame anybody for being outside. But Mama's tuning in, checking us out along with Stonefly 71. What's going on, buddy? Thanks, Roger. Doing our best to stay positive and keep moving forward. Hey, that's all you can do. You get knocked down, you just dust yourself off and keep on going. Roger, you could have picked up Curtis. This was like a weird deja vu. I'm not sure what I could have picked up Curtis where. That feels strangely familiar. But I might have lost myself. I get talking and I'm reading as I'm talking. I might not realize what I said. So I don't know. Outside on a scavenger hunt with the kiddos. There you go. Yep. Lined up a scavenger hunt for the kids. But well, let's start at the top. Let's start at the top of this, which talking about tournament safety. And in my opinion, now keep in mind this is all my observation opinions. We've actually congratulations, Stonefly Big Cat. That's right. Buckeye Lake, Stonefly 71 had Big Cat of that tournament this week or this weekend. So I seen the pictures of that. That was a good job, brother. In my opinion, the scariest part of any big tournament, I'm talking 30 boats or greater, is blast off. And what's up, Ted Ellenbecker? What's going on, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. Blast off, in my opinion, has always been the most nervous part of any tournament. And it really just comes down to your comfort level, your gear, what your boat is and how you handle yourself. There are guys that are braver than me, and there's guys that are not as brave as I am. And there's a place for everybody. But what I try to tell everybody is blast off is not the Sea Arc tournament will definitely test you on your ability to work under pressure with 200 boats launching. Now, I actually have a video pulled up right now, and I could show you just a quick version of that. Let me go ahead and pull it over here real quick since I was right here and available. But let me see. Yeah, right there. This is just going to be just a little small tape of what these guys are going through heading out. Now, this is just coming out of the harbor. Everybody's not on plane at this point. But you kind of get an idea looking at this. That's a lot of boats taking off at the same time. And they're either heading upriver, downriver, but they're all going the same way. Well, 50% of them going one way, and you can tell right here, everybody's heading out. And I just tell you right now that I think that was me and Zach. We'll pause that real quick. I'll tell you right now that, that's not the time to try to figure out or try to learn what you can and can't do on the boat, what your boat is capable of. That is the wrong time to learn. Eric, you don't count, you're a kid. So much to learn and do for an in-person tournament. No, that wasn't Sandusky Bay. That was Ingalls Harbor down in Alabama. That video clip was. But the same event, same thing goes at Sandusky Bay. The waters get very choppy, very rough, very fast. And so you've got to know what your boat can handle and what you can handle as a captain, because regardless of conditions, whether it be weather, water conditions, boat conditions, no matter what the conditions are, ultimately it's the captain's responsibility to navigate or not navigate the water. And it all comes down to their experience, their confidence level, and all of that. But I would tell most people starting out, if you're not comfortable getting right there running neck to neck and rocking and rolling and bouncing, I'm telling you, it could get a little rough and a little sketchy. You've got to be able to control your boat and control your emotions. And there's a lot of control involved in that situation. And if that's not you or you're not ready for that, just fall back. Let everybody take off and get the blast and let the water calm down a little bit, and then go ahead and go on about your business and do your fishing trip. I can tell you that nobody wins a tournament in the first 10 minutes. All right. I won't say nobody. Maybe there has been. I'm going to say on a large scale, most people are not winning a tournament in 10 minutes, but you can lose your life, lose your boat, lose your gear. You can lose everything in 10 minutes if you're not safe. So in my opinion, your best bet is to play it safe. If you're not comfortable yet, let them boats take off, let that water calm down, and then go on about your business. Enjoy your day, enjoy your trip safely. Now, if you're in that situation, if you're having to fall back, whether it's your boat's ability, your ability, let me tell you something. Your secret spot you thought you had, this hot spot that nobody knows about, 10 people know about it. All right. When you get to your favorite spot or your hot spot nobody knew about, there's already a boat there. And when you get to your next spot, your backup spot, there's a boat there. And so like Zach and I, we have like several options lined up, like plan A, plan B, plan C. You start heading that way and somebody rolls into your spot or beats you to it by a hair, which happened to us this year. Somebody had a boat just a hair faster than us and beat us to the spot by about 50 feet. But it was fair. They got there first. So have several options set up, because just because you think that spot's a secret, chances are it's not a secret. Now you will have occasions where you'll find something, an oddity somewhere that you stumble upon, or your scouting paid off, and you do have locations or situations that favor your style. Where's it? Eric, it's the sticker board is still down here. I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate it. Chris sent me this from Sludger Cat Outdoors, and as you guys all know, I'm proud to work with Chris on his brand, and so we've stuck that banner up back there for him and help him out a little bit. So I've got the sticker board right here. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to incorporate it. So it's still here. I think I'd rather be on someone else's boat with experience on tournaments and learn from them. Jody, that is a fantastic point. One that I was going to get to is whether it's a river tournament situation like that, go out with somebody who's got some experience, somebody who can kind of show you the ropes a little bit, because it can be very intimidating. I've been in some big water tournaments. Zach and I have been in several together. But one of my first big tournament situations was Monsters on the Ohio down in Owensboro, Kentucky. And I had my boat. Now my boat is a big deep V. It's the fastest boat out there by far. But it is a big deep V. And my buddy Herb and I had fished that tournament together, and the waters got rough, and there were a lot of boats that were just smacking the water as hard as can be. And all the boats started kind of falling off to the edges, trying to find calmer water. And many old Muskrat just hammered down, and we could cut right through those waves. And we was able to actually get out ahead of a lot of boats because we had a vessel that was made for that rough water. Now my confidence wasn't that high. I actually could have gone even better and faster and farther. But I was playing it safe because it was the first time I'd been in that type of situation. Turbo big block always gets the first spots. There you go, Brandon. I don't know if I could put a big block on the Muskrat, but it's possible. I like fishing with friends. I don't need a tournament. Yeah, and tournaments aren't for everybody. I'll be honest right now. We're fishing the tournament league, and we're fishing the online tournament league, and it has really put a damper on my fun fishing. I think next year I'm going to take a step back away from some of the tournaments just so I know that I've got time for fun fishing events. Maybe it's just coincidence, but a lot of my events, friends wanting to go fishing, family members wanting to go do whatever, timing lines up, and boom, we got a tournament that I'm committed to. And so I'm fulfilling those commitments, and I'm learning. I'm learning at each of these tournaments a little bit more about myself, learning a little bit more about the waters, learning a little bit more about fish every time you go. And that's the object, is to learn with every experience. But it does definitely, put a damper on your fun fishing if you're going to do that. I am very competitive, and I like to compete in those categories just to see how I rank against peers in my water. I know if I go on the online fishing tournament league, which I'll get to, I love it. I have so many, there's so many pros for the online fishing tournament league that I think are phenomenal, that I think will trickle into big organizations, which we know a lot of them already are starting to do some of the live events, the one-on-ones with the live tournaments and stuff from King Cat and some other folks jumping on board. That's kind of mirroring the bass world, but tournaments aren't for everybody. And that's A-okay. That's like catfishing is not for everybody. Dragging's not for everybody. Bumping so that you find what you like, you find what you could do, and you do that. But we are enjoying Small Water Chargers. Welcome in. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. we are enjoying the Mike Greenwell. Welcome in, buddy. He knows a little bit about fishing tournaments. We're enjoying ourselves and learning as we go. So it's been fun. This tournament league, the River Rat Tournament League, is in Southern Ohio. Fishes a lot of different areas around the same area, but they are venturing out each way and getting some new tournaments in. And it makes us try new water, water we've never fished before, water we've never thought about fishing before. And it's making us kind of go out of our comfort zone and learn new things and look at things differently. And I think that's healthy. I think it's healthy to keep us on our toes and stay competitive and, work against our peers to see how do we stack up. I run like it's a tournament when it's just me and my wife. If you got it, stomp it. There you go. My boat is a gas hog, so I'm pretty conservative. I get her up on plane and I back her down a little bit and just kind of let her hum. We cruise right about 30 mile an hour. Top speed, my boat, not completely, which I don't even know what not completely loaded down is. It's got a lot of stuff in it, but about 38 miles an hour, I think, is about my top speed on my boat. But for fuel services purposes, I slow her down to about 30. When we can locate high percentage structures close to the ramps, let everyone run past, less problems, more time to fish. Ted, that's actually leading into one of my next topics is fog. A lot of these tournaments are going to be early in the morning, and you're going to have fog on your water. I don't know how many tournaments that Zach and I had jumped into that we didn't even get to our spot until like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning when the fog burned off. So what do we have to do? We had to stay close. We had to fish close. And just like Ted just said, learning the areas around the ramp, learning, very, very close proximity could really help you out in that fog situation. Or like Ted says, let them guys buzz on by. I don't know about you guys, but I've heard of several instances where somebody's boat broke down and they were on trolling motor, couldn't go very far at all from the ramp, won the tournament right inside of the ramp. And so it happens. And for safety issues, I would highly encourage people to learn and know the areas close to your boat ramp in case you can't take off and you do have a fog or maybe even an engine problem or something like that. And you can still fish and still enjoy your day and not ruin everything for you. Next year, it's back to hardcore in tournament fishing again. There you go. Yeah, see, Mike might be able to relate with me a little bit when you fish the tournament leagues and you do them all. And I'm trying to do 2 leagues at the same time, so I'm trying to do all the online and all the in-person ones down here. It takes a big chunk of your free fishing time, your fun fishing time out. So I think next year I'll take a step back a little bit and cut back on one or the other, and then maybe I might not like taking a step back and jump back in it even harder the next year. I don't know. That's our kind of plan. There you go. Sticking close to the boat ramp. Yeah. Learn how much fuel your boat uses at full throttle. I found my boat gets 1.56 miles per gallon. I need 1.6. I needed 1.6 last year. Did you run out of? Oh yeah, Jim, he did run out of gas. That's a great point though. Knowing exactly how much fuel your boat takes and be able to calculate that consistently will tell you how far you can and cannot run. So that's a good tip as well. Ooh, hang on a second here. My ABG security is trying to take over. I don't think it went that fast with 3 fat guys in it. No, I don't think we went. We still went 30, but not. We probably didn't get up to 38, 40 miles an hour. But yeah, the fog was definitely an issue. You got to keep that in mind. We fished in conditions where the fog was so thick that we had boats that we could see in front of us, and boats didn't even see us and came, which turned out to be ironic. It's funny because we all knew each other. We were close friends, but it was Bink and Janet Fox were suspend drifting downriver, and our boat and Mark Mitchell's boat were both dragging upriver. Now, Mark was closer to the bank. We were farther on the outside, which worked out great because we was trying to figure out where the fish were. We was watching him. He wasn't catching anything. We weren't catching anything, and they drifted right down the middle of us, and they didn't catch anything. So did a whole bunch of homework for us right at once, but the fog will definitely put a big kink in things. Danny Stone's in the house. Welcome in. He says, all else fails, hit the bank and eliminate all those boat problems. Yeah, Danny, you're absolutely right. Now, here we go. Jeremy says the Vicksburg Megabucks tournament taught me a ton about tournament fishing. Yeah. I'm sorry Jeremy couldn't be up here tonight, man. He could probably fill our ears up with what he's learned down there, because I'm sure he had to travel some rough waters, and Jeremy's boat is not a big water boat. I'm sure he can handle some stuff, and Jeremy knows what he's doing on the Mississippi, but Mississippi gets rowdy, and you put that many boats on it. I'm not sure I'm going to assume it really jacks it up pretty good, but the current is so strong down there, it may not make it as bad as what I originally think. So, Jeremy, you could chime in and tell me a little bit if you think that the flow of the Mississippi kind of calms down the wake of all the boats taking off, or does it make it worse? Uncle Lou's in the house. What's going on, buddy? Lou, we're talking about tournament fishing, talking about safety concerns and things like that, how to keep yourself safe. Obviously, number one, almost every tournament's going to start out this way. They're going to tell you to wear your life jacket. You need to wear your life jacket. I'm terrible. Me and Zach try very hard to remember to put our life jackets on. We don't remember often. I don't think we ever intentionally don't put them on, but keep your life jacket on and make sure it's up to par. Make sure it's, that's you got a green on if it's an inflatable one, or if you don't wear the inflatable ones, man, just don't they use different ramps, and no blast offs. Okay. So, yeah, you might be right for the Vicksburg. I think you're right. They can go out anytime they want, but they can't start fishing till, I believe, 7 a.m. I think that was it. So you're right. We chose a close spot to start out. The barge traffic does way more to make rough water than the boats. You got me there. I didn't consider the barge traffic you guys have out there. So yeah, they will use. Now I'll tell you that, like on this Sea Arc tournament that I was showing you, you guys seen the boats kind of taking off one at a time. That's because the way they do it is they give everybody a batch number A, batch C. I think there's 10 boats in a batch, and you pull up and they pull you up and one, and then you go two, and then go. So they don't launch everybody at once in that scenario. But there are scenarios that everybody lines up, they drop the hammer, and everybody goes as fast as you can. And it's good to have a fast boat if you can get out in front of everybody. But number one, that always should be SWC. Oh, kill switch. There you go. I was trying to see where you said it. Yeah, kill switch. Also connected to yourself. A lot of places that's the law. Around here, that's the law. You're supposed to have your kill switch connected to you. So if you do lose control, fall out of the boat, that it will kill it and then not take off. We've all seen videos of boats unmanned going crazy. So that is a concern. Yeah, for MRM, once you check in at 3 o'clock, you're free to leave. Yeah. Your factory barges going upstream cause way more wakes than ones going downstream. Easy to see that from. But oh yeah. Yeah, that's here as well. So blast off, I think, is the number one problem, number one concern. That's where you should really pay attention. Like I said, and like Ted mentioned earlier, staying close to the ramp, have spots picked out, and have an A, B, C, D, go all the way to Z if you got to for plans. If you get there and somebody's there, or it's just not safe. Like I said in the beginning, knowing your abilities and knowing what you're capable of and what you're comfortable with, not comfortable with, is key. Zach and I, like I said in the beginning, we chose not to fish the tournament this weekend. Just had too many negatives. We had storms coming in. They was calling for tornadoes. It was torrential downpours. I was talking to J-Dog that way. He's like, it's raining cats and dogs down here, man. I was like, oh, crap. High winds. There was a rock on the river down there, which had over 100 and some boats, pleasure boats out on the river for a rock concert in the area we were trying to fish. It was a nighttime tournament. We didn't know the area. The negatives just kept stacking up. And he's like, you know what? This is one we're just going to sit out. We don't sit out very many, but this one here, we weren't comfortable with. And we said, we're just going to set it out. they can like it or not like it, but that was our choice. We just didn't feel like it was the right thing for us to do. Been part of a 200 boat blast off, 200 boats left in a minute and a half. Crazy. Yeah, Mike, now Mike's got a deep V boat and you can handle some rough stuff, but even at that, with that many boats all heading out at the same time, the water's going to get real rough, real fast. So like, I don't know what you did in that situation. If you try to hang with them and do your best, I know that you've spent plenty of time on the water. I'm quite sure you're confident in your ability to run your vessel. But you know, some people is just better off just to lay back a little bit and let it calm down and then get on your way. Jeremy can vouch for me. I had a small crowd around me at captain's meeting once I started talking about the river conditions, debris, and structures that nobody knew about. Yeah, you might not want to let the cat out the bag on that too much. There you go. Yeah, Brandon, you know, pros versus cons, trust your gut. You're always supposed to follow your gut. That's why it's in the front. Mine's bigger than some of y'all, so it's easy for me to follow. So let me take a step back a little bit here, and let's talk about fish safety. All right, because through the heat of the summer here, we've seen some, and we've had some. All right, we've been in a situation twice this year where we had fish in a live well that looked weak. And the rules for the tournament league we're on is the fish must swim off on its own power. You can't just shove it out there and say, oh, it's gone. It has to swim away on its own power. And twice this year, we babied a fish half the day. And at the end, we was like, you know what? I don't think he's going to swim off on his own. If we continue to hang on to him like we have, his best bet is to let him go and, you know, let nature take its course. You know, unfortunately, sometimes the stress, there could, you know, it could be a weak fish to begin with and stress of the catch or whatever. And to be honest with you, riding around in a live well isn't easy on them. Regardless of what anybody tells you, it cannot be easy on the fish. Okay. So twice this year, we let fish go that we needed to weigh in because the fish health was more important than our pounds. And, but it was hot, man. And here's something people I don't think realize is exactly how many gallons of water it takes to keep a fish alive. Now, I know this from years and years of aquariums that I ran, and it's basically, you know, bait tank etiquette and everything else, but you basically need a gallon of water for every inch of fish that you have. All right. Now, them big catfish, even though they're so many inches long, you know, they got the girth there. So it's hard to tell if they need more or not. But the general rule of thumb is 1 inch of fish equals 1 gallon of water. Well, let's think about it. You got a 5 fish weigh in. How many fish are in the live well, and how many inches of fish do you have? Is your live well even close to keeping up? If you home make one, if you have one built, you know, the Sea Arcs come with like 80-gallon live wells. Well, that's great until you put 150 inches of fish in it. So how do you keep up with that? What do you do? Well, you have to run your pump continuous. If your boat, now we shut ours off when the boat's moving because, you know, it'll just suck air and you can vacuum lock itself and cause issues. But when you shut that water off, those fish are basically in half of the oxygenated water that they need to survive for however long your water's off. Now, when your water is on recirculating, then basically you adapt the whatever gallons of water, the body of the water you're in, that is what they have available to them. All right. And running oxygen. So run a pure oxygen from an oxygen bottle is the best. But if you can't do that, the bubblers work great. Even the battery powered, we have battery powered ones. We have infused recirculating pumps like the Venturi, you know, pulling oxygen into the water, trying to get the parts per million up to keep these fish healthy. Yes, life is worth more than it. Yeah, there you go, Stonefly. Just ask bait fish. Just ask bait fish in a bait tank. Yeah, riding around. Ben Wall says no of 3 different bolting accidents this year. Heart attack, energy drinks. Stop drinking them. A boat flipped over debris after a storm, and a guy ran over someone swimming and scalped them with the motor. Ooh, yeah. So Yeah, I got you. Boating accidents. Yeah, anything can happen at any time. Recirculate and pump fresh and constantly. There you go. Yeah, recirculating air, says Uncle Lou. Yeah, making sure that you got enough oxygen on these fish, or you keep the water pumping to these fish, is crucial to making sure they live. Not just make it to the weigh-in, and if they die after that, then whatever. We want the fish to make it to the weigh-in and swim off to continue on breeding, continue on, living their dream as a monster catfish one day, or filling somebody else's dream as being their PB, the best fight and catch of their life. Leave a live well lid open or cracked if you can, to let the ammonia escape. That's right. So fish should let off their nitrates, nitrates, and it turns toxic. That's why, like on your live wells, you got all the foam that builds up on the top. And you want to try to keep that foam off, because with the foam, like if you're keeping shad, it does not allow that stuff to evaporate into the air. It keeps it contained, trapped in the water, which kills your fish. That's why they have the foam off stuff. Actually, Slunger Cat Chris came up with a formula that's fantastic. You put it in a spray. It's got a spray ball. If you spray that stuff, it's like magic. If you guys have used foam off, you spray it and it's just like dissolves it all like cotton candy. It's gone. Live well air vents help a ton. There you go. Exchanging water also helps keep the ammonia and urea levels down. I might have read it wrong. Yes, exchanging the water. Yeah. So like these guys made a homemade live well tank, but they could continuously pump water in and pump water out, even though it was not an original part of the boat. If you guys watch their videos, they plumbed it into their existing live well to where they could put water in and out. People complain about the cost of a good air stone diffuser, but worth every penny when running air. 100%. The finer you can get your bubbles, the more saturation it gets into the water. So the finer bubbles are much healthier for the fish. We've been drilling holes in live wells and putting in vents. There you go. Mike Greenwell he's on the wagon. He understands the importance of keeping fresh air, not only in the water, but above the water, to keep that all the fumes and chemical, or the fumes out of the water. It makes it toxic. You guys never notice when you lose a fish in a live well, if you don't get it out, it basically poisons the rest of the live well. Now, there are ways to offset that. You can use chemicals like stress coat. You can use, I use activated charcoal. Like I said, I've got several years of running large aquariums. So I know a lot about, the benefits of activated carbon. And so I run carbon bags in my live wells to help keep it clear, help keep the nitrates down. It just helps a lot. Every tournament angler I spoke with has oxygen. Yes. Yep. Pure oxygen bottle, man, they make a huge difference. I'm telling you, you go to a weigh-in and you can just about tell when a fish comes out of there and it is flip-flopping crazy, he is on oxygen, all right, because they have been completely stressed out. From the time you hooked him, all right, you were pulling with all your might and he was pulling with all his might. And, well, if you got him in a live well, you won. Stress that fish way out. Now you put him in a box. He's sloshing around back and forth. He's getting stressed out and beat up, okay? When you go to the hospital and you've been in an accident, you've been in poor health, whatever the condition is, what's the first thing they do? They give you oxygen, right? Because that's the fastest way to try to get, you to recover, recuperate, get feeling better, get your body, get everything start working again. And there's more scientific terms to this than what I'm spilling, because I'm not a medical field. And I know that it opens the capillaries and all that stuff and blood flow. I know that there's more to it than that. But the moral of the story is that pure oxygen is what helps us all recover, and it what helps us all. And so that also helps the fish. And you can pick up them oxygen bottles, man. You can find them on sale on Marketplace. You probably got a friend, family member, somebody who's got oxygen bottles they don't use anymore. You might even have somebody that uses oxygen that has a prescription for them that gets them filled automatically for free. Hey, you mind if I switch out this empty one for one of your full ones? The little green medical oxygen regulators are cheap on Amazon, well worth it. Just get the flow just right. Yeah, that was the part. My computer wants to restart. How about no? Finding out what the flow right is for you. Now, I've been fortunate enough. I fished most of my tournaments with Zach, and we have continuous flow on ours. We actually have oxygen, but we have never really ran it. In the situations we've been in. So I don't know what number is the best number for me. Now, my live well, my boat is a homemade out of a metal toolbox that I plumbed into my boat that I could take in and out anytime I please. And so, to set up oxygen on mine, I have to play with it a little bit, but everybody's tank's different. Everyone's going to have to play with it a little bit to figure out what the flow is for you. But they all have the regulators on them that can adjust that. Downtown Ernie Brown's in the house. What's up, buddy? Buckeyes in the house. Same thing here, Mike. I kicked the plug and broke the connector. We bucket water all afternoon. Ooh, yeah, that's a rough. Jim, you was already in here. I don't know why I said welcome. That's a rough day right there, having to bucket water in and out. But that's what you got to do sometimes. Even with just a container, you need to scoop water out and pour fresh water in. And warmer weather, if you have ice bottles, keep the temp down. That always helps a lot. Yeah, so the water, if you are traveling or your unit is closed, the water bottles will help. But if you got it on continuous, it might cool down the water just a little bit, but it's going to quickly warm right back up if you run continuous water. So water bottles in a tournament situation for the live well, I don't think it help a lot. But if you do have like a closed tank, like you run in a trough or something like that, and you don't have the ability to pump water in continuously, cooling the water down some will help. You do have to be careful to cool it down too much or too fast because you can also shock the fish. So you got to be careful of that. Those medical bottles keep alive bottles around here, so you can't get filled unless you have a prescription for the med bottles. Other ones our welding shop won't fit. Oh, yeah. So that's when the friend, family, or somebody that has a prescription for it can get them swapped out for you. I'm not sure. There's places around here that'll fill them. Let's go back here and see real quick. J-Dog's in the house. What's going on? Well, we got all the famous people here tonight now. I have a question. How do you keep fish alive when you don't catch fish like me? You just wave at them from the boat. You just say hello from the boat. We both know you catch fish, you turd. Hey, there's Thompson's Outdoors and More. Hit the thumbs up. Get a piece. Wise guys. Hey, welcome in, buddy. Jeff Beal's in the house. Thank you guys for stopping in. So I'll get off the oxygen, water, and all that stuff. You guys get that. The other thing is safe handling of fish, all right? How you properly handle the fish. Fish grips, quality fish grips, all right? Trust me, we've gone through a dozen fish grips. Oh, crap. Man, I left it in the garage. I had it out. I think it's the original grip. Fish grip is the one that we've used this works the best. I know that a lot of people like the mechanical one, the high dollar one. That's too fancy for me. I don't have that. But a good quality fish grip that will handle the fish. And hey, gloves. Put your gloves on, okay? I know it's macho to grab a fish with no gloves and get your knuckles all bloody and everybody thinks you're cool, right? Well, I don't care, because when that fish bites down, starts flipping and flopping and tearing on your knuckles, and you have a tendency to let go, and then you drop a fish. Well, I tell you what, my ego can take a hit more than that fish can take a hit hitting the floor. And so regardless of what anybody thinks, I'm going to put a glove on and grab that fish and make sure I got a good hold of him and handle him. Because even in the best conditions, the best glove, the best grip, the best grippers, you're still going to, not me, when I was in the hospital, I had to talk with the muskrat. There you go. Yep. I'm not sure what that meant. I have to go back up. So yeah, we wear gloves, man. Put the gloves on, make the fish put the fish's priority over yours, your pride, your ego, or tough, whatever it is, your image, because even the best of them still going to drop a fish sometimes, and it just happens. Nobody wants it to happen. Everyone feels the same when it does happen, but there's nothing you can do about it. But do everything you can in your power to protect that fish so they can go on, like you said, and fulfill its lifelong, however long it plans on living until it gets caught in a hoop net on the Ohio River. Medical oxygen is purified. Welding is just not FDA approved, comes out of the same dang tank. I don't know about that 100%. I can't speak on that, but it may be. I still got my hand tore up Saturday, even through mechanic's glove. That big one was salty. And now we all know that the mechanic's glove have extra protection on the backside and the knuckles. If you got tore up through that, that's a good one. I'm guessing we weren't talking about the shark. Jeremy House thumbing the shark. That's right. Let's see here if I catch up. I have hands of steel. When I grab them, they go nowhere. Of course, I ain't hard to hold a 1 pound fish. J-Dog, we all seen your 70 pluses out there, and you guys do fine handling your fish and catching them. Fish handling, just releasing the fish, man. I know that there's anglers out there that kind of chuck them overboard, and we've all got our opinion on that. I don't like it. If I've got a smaller fish, right or wrong, I don't know, but I feel comfortable sending them nose dive first, right, like a rocket right back into the water. But if I've got a big fish, man, I'm setting him down in the water easily. I'm hanging on to him till he pulls away from me. I like for my fish to pull away from me. I don't like to let a fish go. I want him to pull away, and that, to me, that means he's ready to go. I just seen the commercial fisherman leave Tanner's Creek in Indiana. Oh boy. River Rats Fishing Club. Hey, we've been talking about you guys. We're talking about tournament safety and blast off safety, fog safety. All the things that people need to consider if they're considering getting into tournament fishing, or if they're even tournament fishing already, getting into this lifestyle or doing some of these events. A lot of folks in here have never done a tournament like that. And so, we use a sling. Yeah, I don't have a sling. I wish I did. We weigh all of our fish. Basically, our kind of golden rule on our boat is 20 pounds is our limit. 15 pounds and less, we're comfortable holding them with the grip. Once they hit 20 pounds, we're going to weigh them in the net. We both have big nets that can handle big fish. We weighed a 78 pounder in Zach's Hydro Web 80. We almost maxed it out, 78 pounds, but it held the fish just fine. And I've got a RS net that's built like a tank, and it's deep. It'll hold a big fish. I'm going to start fishing Pay Lake so I can catch my big fish they took. Hey, I'm with you, J-Dog. That's the only way I'm going to fish a Pay Lake is go there, catch our fish, take them back to the river, and turn them loose. Let's see how long that lasts, right? They could steal them for our river and put them in their pond, but we can't steal them from their pond and put them in our river. That don't sound right to me. Don't get me started. Safety, lots of times bring common sense, which is not much out there. Yeah, common sense is not that common, unfortunately, Josh. But you'd be surprised what people don't think about the fog and plan B, C, D, and all the way to Z. Being able to fish close if you need to, I think is an excellent point for tonight. Fish handling, making sure your live well is capable of keeping big fish. All right, Stan's in here. I know he repeats it a lot for me, but my biggest saying from the beginning has always been, if you want to catch a big fish, be prepared to catch a big fish. Every time you throw a bait, you have to be prepared to catch the biggest fish of your life. If you're not doing yourself justice. If you fish with nicked up line, you think, there's only, I'm only catching 20 pounders or whatever, it'll be all right. That's the one that's going to get the biggin, right? If your luck's anything like mine, that's the one that's going to get biggin. I didn't need oxygen. Oh, that's right. I got you now, Ernie. I'm sorry. I lost myself in conversation. Yeah, Ernie didn't need oxygen. He's tough. But every line you throw, if you've got a problem, that's going to be the one that hooks the big fish. All right. And you're going to find out the hard way that you wasn't ready to catch a big fish from wherever the fault was in your setup, whether it be you or your gear, something wasn't ready. So make sure that you're ready. I had a guy come in wanting treble hooks to snag catfish. I said, dude, totally illegal. He argued not. Well, it's illegal as crap here. So I don't know about down there, but I'm going to go on a limb and say it's illegal there as well. I kind of got hooked on just jacking around. I've been fishing with Doc Demons more lately than real rods. Hey, you know what? Whatever is fun is fun. All right. Some of my rods I don't use because they're too stiff. They're just too heavy of action. I want to feel the fight. I want to enjoy the thrill of the fight and fighting the fish and using angling, true angling as far as be able to work a drag, work a fish, getting to the boat healthy and safely and netting and be able to release him healthy. I think is just as important, but I don't know, maybe it's just the way I am, but I enjoy being able to, I'll eagle equals sick bird. Lou, you lost me on that one. You lost me on that one, buddy. I might have lost myself, honestly, but I'll eagle sick bird. Curtis, you get him tongue twisted. That's right. Uncle Lou medium light rod I had was amazing. Yeah, Uncle Lou, when you get new rods, I have got to get at least 4, probably 6, if Jackie don't kill me, but at least 4. I'd like to have 4 of them again. Fighting them on a Doc Demon, fighting them on Uncle Lou's rod, fighting them on whatever, what do I got over there? Ancient Mariner, Mad Cats, Big Cat Fever, Anvil. I've got them all. I've got just about everything, at least 1 or 2. You're going over his head, Luke. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, ill eagle equals sick bird. Okay. I got you. I might have missed a comment that pertained to or completely went over my head. Eagles go over my head all the time on the Ohio River. So it's possible. Daniel, welcome in, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Mouth's getting dry. I'm not used to having to do all the talking, man. I've had great guests on the show. We had Ted Ellenbecker for 3 weeks in a row. We had Chris Souders on talking about bumping rods. And, I'm used to having Jeremy here to help take up some of the slack. Now I got to do it all. DSO, I have to sit down and draw you a picture. Draw a picture. Use crayon. I can see crayon way better. So let's try to get back on track here. We was talking about safety, the fish. Thanks, Danny. Appreciate you, brother. I had something else to throw in there as far as the safety of the fish goes. But in reality, the safety of the fish and the safety of yourself, your own safety comes, paramount over the fish, but the fish's safety has to come paramount over, everything else. Winning, pounds. Hi, it's Hey, Amelia. That's our daughter there. She's apparently hijacked mom's phone and is watching from somewhere. So, hey, sweetie, welcome in. She is dying to have another kids show and come on and talk about. She wanted to come on tonight and talk about tournaments, and I quizzed her. I said, "What do you know about catfish tournaments?" She said, "Nothing." I said, well, this isn't the show for you tonight, then. Why don't you love me anymore, Danny? Oh man, fishing with the squirrel. What's up, buddy? Welcome in. A couple other things that I feel is important. Water removal. Okay. I don't know how long ago it's been, but when I built the live well for my boat, I ended up with extra hose and I ended up with an 1,100 gallon an hour pump because I believe it's 1.25 inches outside diameter on that pump that pumps water, and it moves 1,100 gallons an hour. Unfortunately, if Amelia's still watching, she knows that we backed the boat in recently and forgot to plug. Now, the kids did great. Jackie did great. Major props. I was up front throwing a cast net while the back of the boat was going down. And Jackie said, nice and calm, hey, there's supposed to be water back here? No, there's not. There's not supposed to be water back there. And I opened up the cap on the inside. I forgot to put the drain plug in. I was able to reach down. I got the big round dry hatch, whatever, in the splash well. I reached down where the plug was supposed to be, put the plug in from the inside of the boat. But that 1,100 gallon pump, I threw that in there and we started pumping out water quick. Of course, the bilge pump was running, but it's like a 500 or 800 gallon per hour, and it was doing a job. But that 1,100 gallon kicked things in high gear, and it's just a pump with some hose, and I wrapped, I got alligator clips on the end, and it's stowed in my boat for emergencies. I don't have to use it very often, but when you do, that thing right there came in handy. If that would have happened and my bilge pump failed, we'd be in trouble. We would end up, having to go load the boat up, drain the water out, put the plug in, get back in the water. If we weren't frustrated by that point, not wanting to go home. Not familiar with your tournaments. Is there a scale available to weigh a big fish anytime during the tournaments? Yes. So on all the tournaments here, most of the tournaments here, if you have a fish that's not doing well, you could come in early and weigh that fish and release that fish. So let's say you've got a 50 pounder that, like, man, this guy, was weak when I caught him. I don't want him to pass. I don't want to hang on to him all day. 30 minutes into the tournament, I caught this fish. Most tournaments, you can go in and go ahead and weigh that fish in, get credit for that fish, and release that fish. All right. There's going to be some sort of, volunteer, somebody that's going to have to verify it. Obviously, when it comes to money, unfortunately, people will lie, beg, cheat, and steal, anytime money is involved. But yeah, most places you can go weigh in a fish early and get credit for it and let it go. All that water in the boat and Roger's big waterhead could have been bad. That's right. Yeah, I was at the front of the boat throwing the cast net. She handled herself well. I was trying to think of the calmest way to ask you, since the kids were like, are we sinking? Yeah, you don't want to freak the kids out. You got to remain calm. Everybody, I was like, yeah, we're good. Just a little bit of water. We'll get it. We'll get this pump here, kick it out. There's a lot of water. But we weren't going down. It wasn't that kind of catastrophic event, but we was taking on water. If you haven't ever forgot your plug, you're lying. Okay. Unless you pontoon Jody and you run a pontoon. But Jody has now went to a Carolina skiff. And Jody, have you forgot your plug? Yes, she has. It's probably very easy for her because she's never had to worry about a plug before. And now all of a sudden she's got to remember to put a plug in. So we've all done it. Unfortunately, it happens. So I need to go catfishing now. Christy said I need to go now. Man, I wanted to go today so bad. I could almost taste it. We was going to go to Hoover. We was going to try our luck at some crappie fishing and some bluegill fishing and do some dragging for catfish. But just wasn't in the cards today. Didn't work out. The river has been total poop. The flow has been absolute garbage. There's been no real rain to speak of. Every little bit of rain we got, the ground's soaking it up like a sponge. It's not making it to the river. I don't know when we're going to see good flow again. It might be winter, spring. Jody don't have a drain plug on her pontoon, so she ran up on the rocks and made her own. Oh, yeah, I remember that. It might be too soon for that. No, she's got another boat. That's free game, J-Dog. We'll let it ride. Post a note on my instrument cluster, plug in, prop up. That's not a bad idea. I know that Doc Lang has a sticker right on the side of his motor next to the trim up and down. So when he goes to put his load bar, his transom saver bar on or off, that his sticker from his wife who passed He put that there just because of her, for her. And so every time he goes to take that bar off or put the boat in the water, take that thing off, it's right in his face. I can't ignore it. Put the plug in. So whatever it takes, tie a string around your finger, have some sort of, I've got a weird thing. I do not like wearing my hat backwards. And so when I'm trying to remember something, I will turn my hat around backwards because it would drive me crazy until I do what I told myself I need to do so I can turn my hat back around. So whatever it is for you. I know that's TMI really, but I bought a bunch of those boat plugs before inflation skyrocketed. Yeah, I've got boat plugs. I got 2 in the splash well, 1 in the dash, 1 in my tackle box, and I think 1 in one of the storage boxes on the boat. I've got like 4 or 5 drain plugs for my boat. And never ever, I don't care who you are or what you've done or how good you think you are, don't ever buy the ones that plug in and just flip up or flip down. They are not safe. That's not good. I know of 2 or 3 different people who have used those and sank their boat because the plug came out. All right. One of them was because he flipped it down, was fishing heavy brush, pulled the boat through some tree tops and limbs. One of the limbs pulled the plug right out the boat, and he sank the boat right there where he sat. It was actually my old boat. The guy sank the boat 3 times in a year. I never sank it in 10 years. He sank it 3 times in 1 year, and it still runs. The 50-horse Johnson on it. Jody needs a lot of safety instructions. Bless her. Yeah. Well, Jody's Jody, so we'll leave it at that. We're hoping she has everything in check because if things go as planned, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Magnus Man, the birthday boy a couple weeks ago. He actually got to go into school today and sell. There's Amelia. Oh, wait, over here. There's Amelia. These guys are ready to go fishing. These guys played reverse role on me the other day. Normally, Amelia is dying to go fishing, and Magnus is not so happy about it because he just, he's 5. The other morning, he comes in and says, load the boat. And she says, no, I want to stay home and just relax today. I can't win. I forgot the plug on the blue boat, got to the dam at midnight, didn't realize until we was taking on water, had to pull anchor and run it up on the beach. Hi, Amelia. So for those of you that have never done it, which a lot of you probably have, but maybe never been in a situation like J-Dog is, if you forget your plug and you're taking on water, the best thing for you to do is get on plane just as fast as possible. Believe it or not, getting on plane will actually pull that water back out of the boat and buy you some time. So, depending on what your boat ramp situation looks like, if you're with somebody, get that boat on plane, come in hot, drop your buddy off, let him go get the truck. You get back out on plane, and when he gets that boat in there, or trailer in there, right, you come on in and load that thing up. You could save yourself. You could save your boat if you could do that. Now, if you waited to the point where you're taking on so much water you can't get on plane, you're in trouble. You need to try to beach it best you can, get it out of the water until you can figure things out. Possibly, get down there and get the plug in, get it higher up on the bank, whatever that case may be. But getting on plane will help save your boat if you're able to do so. Did you have something? Oh, you want to show everybody? What is that?
It's like a bead thing I made.
A bead thing she made. We had 7 people on the boat. First thing I thought was running on the bank. Yeah. Well, if you had 7 people on that boat, it probably was sinking already. Oh, wait, no, the blue boat. I was thinking your pontoon. But yeah, and then real quick, I'll wrap this up because I mentioned it earlier, and I just want to talk about just real quickly how much I enjoy the online fishing tournament league. I know that, on the online tournament leagues, we pick the fish up, we weigh the fish, we show the camera, we release the fish. It is gone. It never hits a live well. It never has to bounce around. It never experiences the stress other than being caught. And for that, I really enjoy the online fishing tournament league, much like the kayak guys do. They bring their fish up on the board. They measure the length. They snap a picture with an identifier on it. That fish goes right back in the water right where it was caught. I know a lot of people, argue about the fact that, guys will catch fish and then travel 40, 50, 60, 100 miles. Some of these big tournaments, guys will really, really travel and take a fish 100 miles away from its habitat and release it weigh it in and release it there. And would it ever make it back down to where it was supposed to be? I don't think that really affects as much because fish travel so much, but it is an idea, especially when it comes to flathead. Flathead's home range isn't that big. You pick him up and take him 50, 100 miles away from his home. He's got to go find a new home. All right. So for that, I really do enjoy the online fishing tournament league. I think there's going to be more going towards that when it comes to, fish safety and fish health. I'm not familiar with any statistics ran on mortality rate after tournaments and things like that. I personally have seen dead fish after weigh-ins, and that's just with small tournaments, 20, 30 boats, and still seeing 3-4 fish dead after weigh-in. It does not make you feel good. It doesn't make you feel good about fishing the tournament when the fish, died afterwards. I seen a truck at the dam over the spring had a sticker that said Catfish King. So I snuck over there and put a muskrat sticker on the bumper. What? What? Wait. Joshua, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I don't know if we want to go sticking muskrat stickers randomly, but I'll keep that in mind, J-Dog, while you put stickers on my truck. Oh, Curtis, that's a good one coming back. So no. Just kind of wanted to recap. Like I said, we've been fishing some tournaments here this year in person and online. I thought tournament safety and fish safety was kind of calling my name to talk about tonight. So that's where we went with it. Hope you guys took something away from tonight. If so, please hit the thumbs up for me, and we'll get back in the saddle here and try to line up something good for you guys next week. Until then, tight lines. We'll catch you out on the water. We'll be back same cat time, same cat channel. Good night, everybody. You knew she was going to throw something in there.